Hey yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone? Everywhere, welcome back to another video, man. I know it's been a hot minute. It's okay. I've been testing this, man. This stuff. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You should not be using nature pet DPS and for might base at least. Unless it's single target. Single target was actually pretty okay, pretty good. AOE, just not it. I have a few variations of what worked best. Some are a little bit clunky. I got a smooth variation. If you want that, it would be a little less damage. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, you know with the mods, pretty much the same setup. With the weapon, it's normally... Well, with the weapon, it's normally going to blast adapter. I thought I had a couple extra on me. Head mod for us for this will actually take the Neo Venom boost for the head mod. I know I got that critical carnage, that's for my precision. Neck, S-Lit might, we are might base. This one does matter all the time. Back, do not use breakout protection. I apologize, y'all. My stuff is not the best setup, and actually I'm running low on my extra. So back, we'll just take Berserker. Berserker will only affect our damage, not our pet's damage, so keep that in mind. Chest, penetrating strikes. Legs, it doesn't matter. You can use Serpent Call, because that is one of the variations that we are using. Feet, dash, and combos, one of the variations we are using. If not, Tony Master's fine. Hands, max damage, absolute must. Face, if you still have one of these or whatever, I just do might. Affinity mods type A and B are always for DPS in my opinion, so we'll go might based on that. C and D are better off being support. They're just way better in support. Now as you see, I am using older gear. This stuff I had for everything to keep it similar across the board for nature power set. And since it's been a while and whatnot, that's why this gear is still being the Shadow Bender from last DLC. I do have marks and stuff for the new gear. I just want to keep everything consistent, so keep that in mind, please. In terms of the trinkets, tier 3 pet, stat boost, Gotham City Merge Signal. This is about like $8 or $9. You can get it from Marketplace, the Loading Point vendor or whatever. It's from the Gotham City Starter Pack or Gotham Bundle. It's pretty good, especially if you're over CR 25, CR level 25 plus. It'll just damage everything around. If you're a hero, you call Batman. If you're a villain, you call Joker. Okay. Henchmen, whichever ones are best for you for that DLC. I got the Paradox Reaper in right now. I like them because they stun, better for PvP or dueling, I should say. But you can put in the mummies if you're doing that kind of content or whatever other ones there are. If you want to know which one's is top, just follow City and Chill's video. I'll be honest with you, he does a very extensive testing. He knows best on that particular front, so that is pretty good for the trinkets, I would say. For our artifacts though, we're using the Mercy, Sword Shard, and then Quizlet. Quizlet's going to be a 3rd damage pet that's going to be boosted by the Sword Shard, so kind of synergy right there. And then Mercy, so we can get our own attack protocol, which is going to be our own offering and whatnot. Okay, so you can kind of see what stuff I'm working with. 240,000 might, precision is 81,000, health, power, the CR or equipped CR is 414 actually. I'm a little bit higher, but that's not even all of it. There's some gear I just haven't opened and purchased and whatnot. For all these right here, for all these augments, pretty much go might across the board. Do know if you keep all these might, you are actually going to get a slight bonus, so don't be a rainbow noob as they call it, because if you color match you get 50% bonus here, so definitely keep that in mind. I can just probably go ahead, be a little bit higher, but yeah, allies, pretty much going to be using both allies here. Satana, you could use the Arcane Battery, then you use Emperor Aquaman, Hear My Call. Now if you're not getting damaged a lot, and depending on what variation you're doing, if you're doing a more ranged loadout variation of this, do not use Emperor Aquaman. Okay, use the Batman who laughs with luck of the draw. It would be your better off one, since you will get an increased crit chance, which this build desperately needs. The increased health is good for survivability if you do get hit, as well as a buff troll, as we all know. And the increased stats is just a nice thing to have. Now, depending on which variation that you are running, you can use Poison Ivy with Empowered Spores. Very, very good. A must-have for nature, generally speaking. That's only if you're using a particular version of this loadout. There's a couple variations where we don't actually have a poisoning powder action effect through our powers. Now, the Mercy artifact and whatnot will allow the poison to happen, but that's not going to be counted towards Poison Ivy here, so definitely keep that in mind. Okay, now if you are not Pinnacle variation as well, for these loadouts you won't use Satanic either. You may end up using something like Shazam for the Power Shazamly. You may use some like Static with the Electric Overcharge, which can be very, very good for that. Or just out of the hat with Satanic. You can actually stack Satana's out of the hat with Batman Who Laughs, Luck of the Draw, and pretty much always have just different things proccing left and right. It is absolutely incredible. And since out of the hat does, from what little testing I didn't do a very extensive testing, but I did do some testing. From what testing I did, it did seem like out of the hat did proc whenever the Mercy artifact applied the power extra force. Okay, so in that we just get, you know, nice little buffs here and there. What we really like is just the 5% crit chance and the 10 might with the 5 precision. Okay, same, you know, similar here, but you know, a little bit different. You can argue that this is a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to just use the standard ones as you see here. These are going to be your best bet. These are more pet focused anyway, so let's just go off of that. For our spec, I'm just using brawling weapon. You're better off if you use rifle, for being honest. It's way easier to clip, and rifle actually can be, it just better all around, especially for any might based powers, just better all around. If you're a super speed, you know, any movement, get your skull fast, and then if you are over like 500 skill points plus, you know, you could get your breakouts and whatnot. It's nice to have, especially if you do run low in power or have trouble breaking out of some things, just for quality life here. Whirling Dervish is one of the variations of this loadout, so definitely keep that in mind if you are super speed and you want to be melee focused, so definitely keep that in mind. Iconic powers, you don't need all these. Kind of powers, Robot Psychic is going to be your best bet. You can get Neo Venom Boost and Super Strength if you are of higher skill points, 500 plus, that is. Okay, Word Power is only going to affect our might based powers, not our precision. Neo Venom is going to affect our, what's it called? Just our damage, not our pet's damage though. You could use Word of Power if you would like. It's completely on you, if I'm being honest. Sometimes you don't have a smooth, let's say, rotation with this. So if your rotation pretty smooth and you are realizing that you are hitting your might powers very frequently, definitely go Word of Power. The increased crit damage is, you know, nice to have, but the increased crit chance is what we're really going after. Since we aren't using transformation card for the extra crit chance, having this is phenomenal. Okay, but this is just all around just damage. Okay, so keep that in mind. Stats, super power focus, in terms of priority, critical attack chance, critical attack damage. Dump everything in my power. If you have anything extra, I'll say just dump it in health. Pretty much anything past that, I would say maybe put 1, 5, or even 10 in precision if you are doing weapon taps in between. And then I will also say at least put 1 into Vite. Vite doesn't overall help, but if you do notice any kind of power issues, it's nice to have at least 1. That's the extra 45 Vite, especially if you're doing weapon taps anyways. It's just nice to have. It helps overall. Okay, it's more quality of life. Now in terms of actual loadout, so there's a few variations of this loadout. I'll go over them all and what they serve in terms of purposes. So we have our general AOE loadout here, okay? So we have Galway Strength, Mercy Attack Protocol, and Robot Psychic. I like to have these at the first three, so it's always there, okay? Then we have Neo Venom Boost, or you could have Word of Power since we are being light based. Okay, it's very nice to have. And then we have Whirling Dervish if you're super speed. Okay, this is AOE loadout. Whirling Dervish and Voracious Plant. You want Voracious Plants? Is nice for a quality of life. It does a little bit less damage, but it's nice since it has such a short cooldown. You can kind of spam it and like always go back and forth to these. What I mean by that is when you come here and you just have Voracious Plant, go ahead and do Whirling Dervish. Stop that. Do that. Bam, bam. You kind of see every time you do Whirling Dervish, before and after, hit Voracious Plant. Whenever you do something for your pet, hit Voracious Plants, then pretty much come back, okay? Now that's going to be a little bit scuffed on the damage, so don't take that number into heart, okay? I'm just showing y'all a little bit of how Voracious Plant works in conjunction with what I was talking about. Now, if you want to be a little more clunky but do more damage, definitely use Savage Roll. Savage Roll is absolutely amazing. It's incredible burst damage, some of the highest in the game. Almost every power, especially for healers, have something like Savage Growth. Electro Burst for electric. It's that's another example, if you will. Savage Growth is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, I will say that. So, with that being said, since it is 3-second cooldown, Voracious Plant, 3-second cooldown, you want to hang on to Voracious Plant a lot longer. So I would say allow 4 seconds to go for Voracious Plant, just to make sure that this is back, and then that these work in tandem with it. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm more meaning that when you, okay, let's come over here. When you are doing your combo, right? So let's say you're doing your thing right, you're Whirling Dervish, let it go a little bit longer so your pet moves can come back faster. Always hit Savage Growth first and then pretty much go from there. You want to always pretty much keep Savage Growth proccing as much as possible. I kind of missed that one, so it was scuffed. And you see the damage kind of went down a little bit, and I paid the price for it. Now these are a little bit hard to gauge for everything since they move around a lot. It would be nice if I had to tank right now, to be honest with y'all, because you'll see higher damage. This will hit in the lower 300,000s, about 320, 340 for this particular gear and whatnot. So for this gear set from last DLC, that's still pretty decent. Okay. Keep that in mind. I know now we're a little bit higher, so we're in the higher 300s into the 400,000s per second, so keep that in mind. Right now this is hitting in the lower 300,000s around to mid 300,000s, so that is a definite big change there. Keep that in mind. I have lower gear to keep everything consistent when I was testing it all out to show y'all. Okay, now that is another melee variation. Now, if you want range, you're going to honestly put a Voracious Plant back on, okay? And you're going to go ahead and hit Serpent Call in the mix of it as well. Now, Supercharge Generator, which is going to work fantastic with Word of Power, allows us to get it more procs. And if you look over here, another synergy will be Quizlet. When we hit our supercharge to get that fractal beam, we get the Mega Blast from how we're already doing stuff, as well as the Mega Blast of the extra supercharge that it grants us back. Okay, so it's just gonna help us get our super back. When we do her super, it's gonna do more damage. We can amplify said damage with Solar Shard. You see, it's just a nice little harmony that can work all in tandem with itself. Now, all this harmony and synergy does come at a little bit of cost. Now, if you're doing just strictly ranged AOE DPS, this is absolutely fantastic and phenomenal DPS of what you can do. Okay, now it's not going to be the best of the best, and you're not going to DPS comp people with nature pet DPS, might based at least. It's not there. I'm gonna be honest with you, it is just not there whatsoever at all. It's just not, and it's kind of scuffed. If I'm being honest, it's kind of scuffed. It's unfortunate that that is the case, but it is what it is essentially. So with that being said, I can show you a little bit what the damage will look like and kind of tell you what the damage numbers I've been seeing is. Oh my goodness, this dude couldn't just stay over there, now could he? Alright, now let's go ahead and start that. You're probably going to hit 2 erasure plants in between everything and allow the... Now when I say everything, and this guy's over here now. Oh, sorry, y'all. That's gonna mess with the numbers even more. Now this is gonna hit in the 200,000s, and then we'll get all the way up to about like the lower 300s, about 310, 320, 320,000 per second. That is okay. So keep that in mind. I kind of scuffed that again, but you kind of get the gist of it. You're essentially gonna hit every time that I say like hit Rage Plant, hit Savage Growth, back and forth. With the rotation, I want to make it very clear. You're going to hit Godway Strength, then directly after Godway Strength, always hit Mercy's Attack Protocol. Godway Strength amplifies everything for 5 seconds, right? But you want to make sure that Mercy's Attack Protocol benefits off of Godway Strength. And sometimes Mercy's Attack Protocol takes a little while to actually trigger. So if you don't hit it pretty much directly after, sometimes you can miss it. So you definitely don't want that to be the case. The pet's AI can be scuffed at times, so definitely keep that in mind. With that being said, I highly recommend every single last time use Godway Strength, then Mercy Attack Protocol, then use Ferocious Plant or Savage Growth or whatever, and you do your thing over here. You know, toggle these back and forth, and then you come over here, Godway Strength, Mercy Attack Protocol. I want to make that very, very clear. That is going to amplify your damage like crazy, and if you don't do that, then your damage is going to be quite scuffed. So let's keep showing it. Let me go ahead and pull out the third pet. So there is actually 3 pets benefit from the Godway Strength. As you see, we're in the higher 200Ks. It's very bad. This one thing that it took a little bit longer with this, because there's not really anything good per se. No DPS comp worthy. I did do a couple of DPS comps with people trying to see like, okay, maybe in that kind of setting how it gets all buffed and boosted, it'll be a lot better. No, I got embarrassed. I'm not gonna front. That was so trash, man. So this is the best of a bad situation, I would say. And I'm also messing up this rotation. But you see 312,000. So that's how I can get up there to that. But it's going to take a little bit longer. Don't mind some of these lower ones. I was doing like 188,000. I was scuffing that rotation there. You see, you get to the kind of the higher end 200,000s to lower 300,000. It's kind of your range there of damage. So to keep that in mind. Now, I will say for AOE, that's pretty much what we're working with. This is ranged AOE here. Just to recap, if you want melee AOE, you can definitely do something like this. Something like this for the most damage, where you Savage Growth and Whirling Dervish. Now this is very clunky, so if you want something more smooth, maybe you're going, you know, enemy stuff's dying very quickly, then hey, you might just need to go ahead and hit Ferocious Plants instead of Savage Growth. Savage Growth definitely does tremendously more damage than Ferocious Plant does, but keep in mind that Ferocious Plant can be clunky coming in and out of that animation, plus 3-second cooldown. As paired with Whirling Dervish, 3-second cooldown. It's kind of just bad when you're hitting your pet buffs and attacks, and then coming back to your actual might-based attacks. It's not the best in rotation, so definitely keep that in mind there. Oh, excuse my dog in the background, y'all. Oh, we're making it stink in here, crop dusting. But yeah, now I will say this is all for AOE. Now, if you want a single target variation of the loadout, goodness, everybody hitting the singles. Alright, let me go ahead and switch phase right quick. If you want a single target variation of the loadout, it is actually pretty decent damage. Now, there's a couple of them that I was working with, but this one has to be pretty much the best one, I would have to say. So what you're going to do is use Impaling Thorns, your finisher. Come on now, good finisher, all the way. and then throw in that voracious plants. This is going to be range, and it's going to be very, very nice. So you're pretty much going to do the same as you would before. Use voracious plants, finisher, then voracious plants again. Hit 2 of them. Hit your pet stuff. Pretty much always have this up as could be. Now I've seen 140,000 to about like that 180, 190,000. So keep that in mind. It takes a little bit to build up. Keep that in mind as well. And you'll see here. Let me just go ahead and put that up. So I actually have 3 benefiting from it. See that 140,000. Now let's enhance them. Oh, there we go. I need to hit 1 before. Yeah, hit 1 before Impaling Thorns. As soon as the Impaling Thorns is up, just hit it. Just hit 1 voracious plants in between. Don't have to always hit 2. Oh my goodness. My controller is being scuffed right now. I'm not trying to hit 2 voracious plants. I'm trying to hit 1 at times when other stuff is up. Why did it? Okay. Oh god, y'all, this is just being scuffed as could be, but I don't have time to really re-record this again. I have re-recorded this a few times now. You see 168,000. That's actually pretty decent perspective. I'm not, you know, especially with this kind of gear and CR level, it's actually pretty good. Okay. Now I know we're more closer to 200,000 in that range of ish, 200,000 ish. Is where you want to be at for a single target. But keep in mind for the 168,000, really it's going to be 180 to 190 is what I was more hitting. I messed up the rotation. I kind of butchered it. The rotation pretty much is as follows. You still hit these 2 powers back to back. Your Godway Strength proc and your Mercy Tech Protocol. Hit 1 Voracious Plants, then hit 1 Impaling Thorns. Hit Voracious Plants again, maybe once or twice until you see your pet stuff back up. If it's just a Mercy Tech Protocol, hit that. This is the Godway Strength and Mercy Tech Protocol. Hit them in that order. Always hit Godway Strength first before you hit Mercy Tech Protocol. Sometimes Mercy Tech Protocol can go really slow, so you'll be okay if you hit it the other way around. But more times than not, it's actually going to be fast. And the time that you want it to be slow, it's going to be fast for some reason. It's just, you know, the game try to hold you sometimes. Let's be honest. Alright, so that is essentially might-based pet DPSing for the nature power set. This is the best out of a bad situation, if I'm being completely honest. The super definitely helps out a lot to help us get that crit chance and crit damage again, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all, it's just not there. It's just not there. I had such a horrible time trying to test this to make it work and trying to look up other people's builds and guys. There's not many out there at all for pet DPS, keep that in mind. Even just their normal DPS, trying to take inspiration from it and figure this out. This is the best of a bad situation. I wasn't able to showcase all the numbers like I typically want to. You all already know that with most videos. The numbers that I say is the numbers that I did in practicing and testing these loadouts, so keep that in mind there. But yeah, without further ado, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video out, and let me know in the comment section down below if you have any other loadout suggestion ideas. You know, hey Trey, maybe switch this one Voracious Plants out with, I don't know, Cyclone Push. I don't know. You know, any suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. If I get back around to it, I may be able to still test it before I switch to Celestial. I honestly can't wait for Celestial, so it kind of got me re-motivated to hurry up and just drop these videos and get on with this power. Okay, I'm over nature right now. So without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Peace and shalom.